Mm, it's going now. Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, so before we start up, I just would like to give a quick introduction about me. So my name is Swati. I am a trainer for the business analyst and the project management and agile. These three are my core expertise area. I'm in industry for past 15 years and into this training department as well for almost like past 10 years. Currently, I'm based and working as a senior project manager in one of the Fortune 500 company based in, again. But I've been working for different international clients, for the European-based clients, like for the German-based clients, for the US-based clients. So worked globally, worked in US, worked in different locations within the globe itself. But currently, I'm working as a senior project manager, but I also take up all these business analyst training or PMP project management or agile related training. So basically, the entire training has been it's inclusive of the theory concepts that has been required along with the experience and the situations and the challenges that you would come across while working as a business analyst or while interacting with your project team members or with the client. So this is all about sharing your experience, sharing about the situations and how exactly you would require to deal with the different situations once you start working as a BA. So from the day one itself, we are actually more preparing towards the interview, what kind of questions you'll be facing or what kind of situations that you would be facing once you become the business analyst. Okay, so this particular training is completely dedicated for the people who wanted to establish their career into IT companies as a business analyst. Plus, if you want to establish your career as a business analyst into non-IT company as well, this training is going to help you. So you'll be getting all the required study material from my end, all the ebooks, all the case studies, all the exercise. Resume preparation is a part of this entire training. So you have to make sure that your resume is getting prepared. I'll be guiding you on how exactly you have to prepare your CV, what you need to show it, what you need not to show it, based on what kind of role you have played previously, what kind of education that you hold. So we'll talk about that once we start working on the resume preparation part. Along with that, from the day one itself, we are going to talk about the questions that will be asked from the interview perspective. So it's not that interview preparation is a separate exercise which we will do it after the training. Not like that. We will do it from the day one itself so that you know what kind of questions are being put forward in front of you once you get started with your interview, so that you get inside that mindset of the business analyst from the day one itself. So from the session one, we'll start up with the fundamentals. From session 1 to 3, we'll just have the fundamentals covered from the IT company's perspective, like what all the fundamentals knowledge that a person should be aware about from the IT company's perspective.
Okay.
And what kind of knowledge do they expect from the business analyst once you start working into IT companies. So basic fundamentals about the IT companies, like the hierarchy structure, what is the internal, your project team structure is going to be, whom you need to interact, whom you need not to interact, what kind of challenges that you would come across. And as a BA, what all the thumb rules and what all the risk and the challenges that you would see once you become the business analyst and you start working closely with the client. So more from the IT company's overview, plus more from the business analyst fundamentals perspective, like as a BA, what is your scope of the work, what you are expected to do, what you're expected to deliver, what you're not expected to deliver. So what is within your scope, what is outside your scope, what kind of situations or what kind of documents also that you need to prepare it or probably help out your team members, in terms of preparing those documents. Other than that, business analyst is a big umbrella. Okay, it's not really required that you only left out with doing the documentation related work, but you actually can play different roles, but still wearing the hat of the business analyst. So we'll talk about that in more detail, and how you can take your career from the business analyst to probably into management, or if you interested, you can go inside the sales as well. But still, you will be tagged as a business analyst. But how you can switch between different careers as well. And in the last fundamental session, we'll be talking about the domain. So what all the different domains that are there in the market, which domain is doing good, which domain is not really doing good, based on which geographic location you are based out of. We'll talk about that. And if you are looking to establish your career, let's say in one specific domain, let's say into healthcare or let's say into banking, I'll guide you on that as well, how you can build your career into a specific domain. So domain, there is a lot of myth that goes in the market that you should be, very sound in the domain. But in IT companies, it's not the practical scenario, because maybe 1 year you're working for the banking client, and maybe next year you might be working for any retail client. So you cannot be really, it's really challenging for anyone to be a jack of all trades. So but they expect the candidate who is working as a business analyst to be fast learner, so that you should be able to having the good communication, good presentation skills, so that you know how exactly you need to interact with the client, what kind of questions you need to put forward from the client, so that and at the same time, if uh, there are a couple of candidates who want to establish their career into one specific domain. So how you can do that? There are a lot of certifications that goes in the market. If you are interested, we can talk about that as well. So I'll be covering that as part of the domain certifications, in terms of how you can establish your career into the kind of geographic location that you're looking out for. So first till third session, it will be completely fundamentals. It will be all basics. From session 4, we'll be now starting digging inside the business analyst topic. Like first, we will see the enterprise analysis. So this kind of techniques comes into picture if you want to play the role of more of a consultant role, like senior consultant, lead consultant kind of role, where you are, more or less giving the expert advice based on your education, based on your experience, and based on the past projects that you have done. So in those kind of roles, you will be beneficial with these techniques, like market research, feasibility studies, SWOT analysis. All these different techniques we'll talk about. If you have done MBA or any management degree, all these topics are being covered as part of management degrees. But since these are also required for the BA to apply in different situations, so that's why they are also part of the business analyst topic. From session 5, I'll be covering about the software development lifecycle. But before that, I'll explain you how exactly bidding happens in the market. Okay, when exactly the project needs comes into picture, when the need has comes into picture. After that, what is the bidding? Why exactly company opens the bid for the entire market, and how exactly bidding happens in the market. Once the bidding has been completed and the IT company has been awarded with the project, what is the different stages, how exactly the software evolves. So we call it as a software development lifecycle. So there are different ways of building the software. Maybe one can be some traditional way which has been going on for years, like 15 years, 20 years, but there are so many different other ways which has evolved in a couple of years, 5 years, 7 years of time. So I'll be talking about 5 models, different models. So we have waterfall, we have agile, we have scrum, we have RUP, rational unified process, and we have also spiral, which is not written over here, but it is a part of the training. So 5 models I'll be covering as part of the SDLC. From session 6 till session 7, it's all about the requirements. You need to understand, because as a BA, you are expected to collect the client requirements and then document them and explain the same back to your development team, because BA is there to gather the requirement, understand the requirement, and provide a clarity of the requirement to the client and as well as to the development team. So, but development team, it is their core responsibility to develop the software. Then we have the testing team, then it's their core responsibility for I'm sorry, my presenter rights has been gone. David, are you there in the call? Hello?
It says that I'm the presenter now. So
Okay.
how do I switch it to you?
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. Okay, so requirements needs to be very much clarified with the development team, with the testing team. They should be very much clear on the thoughts on what they need to build it. Otherwise, they'll not be able to build the right kind of product which is being required by the client. So there is a proper procedure of doing that. So we first need to understand what requirement is all about. Then we need to understand what are the different types of requirements. So we have 4 different types of requirement. Other than 4 different types of requirements, the requirements in which a business analyst needs to deal into. So we talk, so that when we say deal into, we call it as functional and non-functional requirements. So once we have identified functional and non-functional requirements as the different types, but we also need to get those requirements from the client. So there are different ways of gathering those requirements, plus there are different ways of doing the analysis on those requirements. Those different ways we'll study as part of the requirements engineering. So I'll be explaining you somewhere around 12 to 15 techniques which you may require to apply it. It's not really necessary that you actually will land up applying all the techniques and all the topics that we are going to study as part of the business analyst, but you should be aware and you should be clear about what kind of techniques you can apply in different situations at different point of time. Okay, so I'll be explaining you like JAT sessions, workshops, reverse engineering, interviewing, brainstorming. So we'll see all those different techniques in detail. I'll explain you the different situations on that as well. From session 8 to session 9, it's all about the documents. So as a business analyst, you're required to create a lot of documentation. Documentations like where you are going to document the requirements. So which all the different forms of documents where you can make sure that you are writing up the requirements and getting the approval from the client in place. So approval is definitely plays a very important role. Otherwise, it becomes a challenge when we have got certain understanding in the form of the document, and once that development has got started, later on client should not be under a different impression and he is having different perspective and something else is getting developed. So that's why sign off and approval plays a very important part. So as a BA, you're owner of two documents. We call it as a requirement traceability matrix, and second document we call it as a business requirement documentation, that is BRD. And other than that, there are some other documents as well, like I'll be explaining about the function specification document, or even you can call it a software specification document. And other than that, what is the change process? So we have a change management process in place. We have an impact analysis, which situation you need to apply the impact analysis. Other than that, we have stakeholder documents, stakeholder registry. So there are different documents in place. I'll explain you all those and you'll be shared with those sample documents as well. Okay. From session 10, I'll be explaining you on the tools that you'll be required to work on. So for the business analyst, MS Visio is one of the tools. That is Microsoft Visio, which has been offered by as part of the MS Office. You need to be proficient on that. You need to know how exactly you can use that tool to design the different drawings, the different UML diagrams that you have to include as part of the BRD. So we'll have a couple of case study inside the UML part. I'll explain you, and also I will share the information on how you can install those softwares. I will be also sharing some couple of other software as well for your hands-on. Okay, so we'll see some couple of case studies on that and couple of assignments. Sessions 11 and session 12, it's all about the additional information that I wanted to share with you in terms of the testing. So if you wanted to take your career from the business analyst and later point of time you want to switch into testing, there is still a way out of that. Okay, and how you can establish your career, we'll see that in detail. But in order to understand the basics for the testing, like what testing is all about, what are the different methods of testing, what are the different levels of testing, okay, which part of testing you can contribute from yourself. It does not come as part of the scope of work of the business analyst, but it's good to know about the testing. It can somewhere be beneficial for you, in your day-to-day job. If you are about the basic fundamentals of the testing, this will really help a lot. Okay, so we'll see that in the session 12. And in session 13 and session 14, that is interview, job preparation, and topic-wise study materials, all that will be done parallelly once we start up with the training. Okay, so this entire training is all about sharing the concepts, plus all about sharing the experiences and challenges. And maybe if in your career, if you have come across the similar challenges, I would really like to hear that from you, so that how exactly you can put forward the same challenge that you have had it previously, and you can share that and explain it probably at the time of your interview. Okay, so that's all from my end. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask me.
No question from my end. Alok, did you want to ask anything?
What would be the scope of the business analyst after done the, suppose like if I will continue with as a business analyst for 2, 3 years, 4 years, what will be the scope?
Okay, when you say scope, what exactly you mean by scope? You mean
like
in terms of
in like the career point of view, like if I work as a business analyst, so I'll be get like the after experience like for 5 years, I will be eligible for a manage the project.
Okay. See, first of all, there is a huge demand globally. It's not only that US market, but globally they have the huge requirement for the business analyst. Okay. The reason why they have the huge demand is that we have the project manager in place in every company, and initially we expected that every manager is expected to handle only one project. Okay. So this business analyst kind of work, where he need to gather the requirement and he need to have more client interaction, can be taken up by the project manager. Okay, so initially we didn't have too many of requirements or too many of openings for business analysts, but nowadays one manager or one project manager is expected to handle 4 or 5 projects at the same time. So it becomes really challenging for him to focus, or to be interested in each and every different project, where he can focus on his management work, project management work, plus at the same time on those requirements gathering work. So that's how the business analyst role is been evolving more and more these days, and that's how the IT companies are realizing the needs for the business analyst. So right now the market is really good for the business analyst, and it will keep on continue, for a couple of years more, till the
So,
time we get the experienced resources and the good resources in the market. So
so
in terms of the scope of your career, it's a very bright career to take it up. And the best part about the business analysis is that you really don't need to get sound in any technologies. Like, I'll just give you a basic example. If you go for testing, or if you go for Java or SAP technologies, you need to be really sound on those technologies, and they keep on updating yourself as well with a different version. Like if they're launching 7 version, then they launch 8 versions, so you need to keep on upgrading, and at the same time you're expected to do the coding. But the fundamentals and the concept for the business analyst remains the same wherever you go and whichever year you wanted to work for.
no, I was a developer. I'm a senior business analytics right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just asking. I'm also doing my MBA right now, so like masters in project management. So what's the difference is like project management and business analyst? Like a project management, because I'm doing my masters in project management. So this is not for me, because I was attending the class for Eva, but yeah, because you explained really very well. So I have
Mm-hmm.
also IT experience for like 6 years. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm right now working for a big client for business analytics, senior
Mm-hmm.
business analytics. So I'm managing one small full project. I'm managing also business analyst. So I'm asking like, because I'm doing my project management, because you earlier you mentioned that you are also teaching project management people as well as business analysts as well as agile
Mm-hmm.
methodology. So what's the
Mm-hmm.
difference is like project management and then a business analyst over here?
Okay, sure. So project management, when we say, we have to manage the end-to-end delivery from the start of the project till end of the project, and business analyst is one part of it.
So
Okay.
there is
When I
an
say project management, it starts from the day one, the moment you get hired inside the project, maybe by your senior manager, or maybe by your senior executive. You have to first study the contract that has been signed between your organization and the client. Accordingly, you need to identify the resources. You need to set up the entire project team. Then you need to set up the scope for the project. You need to work on the cost part. You need to work on the time part, like schedule when exactly you need to deliver what. Okay, so there are different parameters. So it's an end-to-end. It's a complete
yeah,
management of the project from the day your project has been started till the
yeah.
day your project has been completed. So business analyst is just one part of it.
So
BA
you
is all about gathering those requirements from the client. We have signed up the contract from the client, right? But what exactly we need to deliver, because the contract will be all about signing the high level requirement. Like for an example, let's say you wanted to have a contract with the let's say ERP Planet, okay? But the contract will be all about, you wanted to get the training on the business analyst. But what exactly you want to get trained on the business analyst, that needs to get identified by the business analyst.
okay, so are you providing also the project management classes?
No, that's a separate classes. If you want to only study the project management, that's a different topic itself.
Can you
And
add
business analyst
can you
is a
add
different topic.
can you add some also some classes in business analysis and project management? Can you do that?
It will be really difficult to add, because Project management is a completely different topic, and business analysis is a completely different topic. If you're interested in both the topics, then I would suggest you to maybe you can enroll for both business analyst. You can study first. You can understand the perspective of the requirements and the BA, because BA perspective and project manager perspective is a complete different story. It's a complete different story.
So okay, so you're saying like enroll with the both program. Okay, that's fine. Just I will contact you for that. So right now is business analyst good because I'm doing my project because you have a pretty good experience in project management. Because how long you're in project manager?
I'm almost there for past 12 years.
So past 12 years you are you role is as a project manager.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Who is your client right now?
See, I'll not be able to disclose all that information. Maybe you can get in touch with my ERPPLANETS for any further questions. But if you have any questions from the training perspective, I can help you with that.
Okay, that's fine. No questions.
We have to keep the confidential information because I'll not be able to disclose all that information. But in terms of the enrollment or any questions you have from the training, yeah, you can feel free to ask me those questions.
So I was saying like, okay, so how long it class will be? How many hours this class will be done? Business hours?
See, for the business analyst, the class will be for around 12 to 15 session. Okay, and the session duration can be 1 hour, it can be 1.5 hours, it can be 2 hours. So I'll be covering each and every topic every day. And
Well,
if you are comfortable, yeah, if you are comfortable within 1 hour, we are okay. If you are not comfortable, we'll extend it to 1.5 hours to 2 hours. So it completely depends on the comfortability of that particular topic on that particular day.
okay. And then how many sessions required for project management?
Project management, it completely depends what exactly you wanted to go for the project management. You want to go for some certifications, like, there are a couple of different certifications, the market like PMP, Prince2, ITI, different certifications are there, or you just wanted to study the basic fundamentals about the project management.
Yeah, so I need a PMP certification as well. So how many sessions required to that?
See, for the PMP certification, you should be having at least industrial experience of around 8 to 10 years. If you have that experience, then only you become eligible for the PMP certification. Then you can go for the PMP certification preparation. In that, I can help you with that.
You are missing this point. If you have like 5 years of IT experience, and if you have like a MS in IT project management, masters, and then if you have a undergrad, everything, so from outside, so you will be like people can eligible because I'm also having like a masters in IT project management.
Okay.
So I don't need like 8 years of experience. If people have grad degree in project management and then he has an undergrad in computer science, so I will be eligible for PMP.
Yeah, I mean, that's what. So if you're eligible, you have already have done the MBA, because I'm not really sure about your education background and your work experience background. So if you feel you are fitable in that criteria, then you can go ahead for that certification.
That's what I'm saying. So how long it session will be for the PMP?
See, for the PMP, the classes will be somewhere around 8 to 10 sessions. I actually have to rush for the office now. So if you have any further questions, can you drop a mail to David? And probably David would be able to forward those questions to me, and I can answer them.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So David, over to you. If you have any questions, you can just pass on those questions to me. I shall be able to answer with them through the email. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming up for the demo.